I guess Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. One of the things that I've been planning on doing this wintertime was actually working on finishing our house. So I've been working at this, toiling away at this project, well, all of the projects. Literally, if you guys are new around here, we bought a fixer-upper about almost 2 years ago that needed literally every single thing done from top to bottom. And we've done 99% of the work completely on our own. So it's been a slow, steady process of trying to get things done. But how I've managed to basically take on a huge amount of work without burning myself out is by not finishing anything, which might sound kind of crazy, but I've taken on really big projects. I've got them most of the way done, and then I've just sort of chucked it all into a suck it bucket until wintertime, because it's just so many little odds and ends things, like doing a massive amount of trim painting is one of the things that I've been working on over the course of the last week or so. It's just been, anytime that I have a little bit of free time and I don't have any other things more pressing going on, I've been working on doing a lot of trim painting, which is just incredibly boring. I don't mind trim painting. I actually kind of like the task of it just because it gives me something busy to do with my hands in the wintertime, which is great for staving off my depression, because normally every winter, if I don't have a whole bunch of things to do, I usually get pretty down and out, which, obviously really sucks. It also makes it really hard to want to keep doing the whole homestead thing whenever it's ridiculously, horribly, uncomfortably cold outside. So things have been a little bit rough for me, but I've been able to keep my hands pretty busy, keeping my spirits up, and actually getting a lot done. So last week I actually worked in the basement quite a bit, which was kind of a terrible thing to do. Just because there is no heat in our basement. It is very, very cold down there. And what I was doing was when people before us, they tried to renovate this house. I don't know if it was the people before them that did this or if it was the last people that had this house. But somebody, when they replaced a tub originally, they cut out the support joist underneath of the bathtub. I have no idea why you would do that, but, apparently running a drain pipe is more important than having any structural support to a bathtub. Don't know. That's been on my list of things that needed to be fixed for quite some time now, but it wasn't very high on my priority list because, well, honestly, nobody had fallen through yet. And, well, it just wasn't. I was like, I'm not taking a bath in this nasty bathtub that's been here for God only knows how many years. So once we got the bathtub replaced, and it's been kind of on my mind that it'd be nice to take a nice long soak, especially when it's really cold out. So anyways, I got that replaced, and while I was replacing that beam, I accidentally burst one of the plumbing lines, which made Tracy very, very, very excited to come home from work to go into the freezing, frigid basement to repair a water line. But, we got that fixed. Comically, we ended up putting a heater downstairs, and it ended up getting about 15 degrees colder at night than it was supposed to, which potentially me breaking that pipe potentially saved it so that way none of our canned goods in the basement froze and none of the other plumbing pipes froze either. So when we first bought this place, nobody had winterized it, so we had to replumb the entire thing, including getting a new well pump. So, had this not happened, had I not had to put a heater in the room that has our well pump and all the other plumbing in, we might have had to replumb the house again, because it got, I think with the real feel, it was almost negative double digits. So, and with not having heat in the basement, that's very, very cold. I know that typically basements don't tend to freeze all the way, but seeing as how this has already happened once in the last 2 years, kind of a bit of a concern. Anyways, so I was doing that, got that finished, and then I also worked on putting up some more trim boards in the bathroom, finishing out the trim in the living room. One day I did a massive amount of caulking with the painter's caulk stuff to try to, basically, because this house is over 100 years old, nothing is level, nothing is even, nothing is symmetrical. So when I've hung trim boards, there's little gaps and stuff that the wall doesn't have. Like it's like a void. It's wavy. The walls are wavy. That's just how it is. They're very friendly. They're like, hi. But that was a terrible joke. I shouldn't have told that. But anyways, so I worked on that one day. And then yesterday I wanted to film, but I didn't have time to because since we don't have a garage here, there's no workshop, there's no outdoor covered space area to do any sort of projects at, I had to take advantage of the very brief warm-up that we had. The temperature got up to, I think, like 28 or 29 degrees, but the real feel was still in the teens the whole day. So I was basically in and out of the house a whole bunch to get a bunch of trim boards cut for in the laundry room here. So this room is, I only really have 2 major projects left of the house. till I'm like done with big stuff. So this room is one of them, which I'll share with you guys what I'm going to do in here. And then the other big thing that I need to do, which I'm just waiting for it to warm up a little bit more, is I have to get up. I have to create access to get into the attic so then I can run electrical up there. So then that way the bedrooms have actual light switches and lights instead of lamps. Because that's just been something that's been very frustrating the whole time we've lived here, is having to walk through our entire room to get to a lamp. So I've done a lot of electrical stuff here. The whole house has almost been completely rewired except for putting stuff up in the attic. So that is a project for when it's warmer, because while I want to be able to make sure that there's not going to be wasps up there and bees up there active, I don't want to be up in the attic when the real feel is in the negatives. That's just, it's a little more extreme than I would like to go, especially when, you know, it can wait a couple weeks. But so what I plan on doing in the laundry room here, which is in addition to our kitchen, this also is not level. It is not square, which was very evident when I was putting in that floor joist the other day, because that was also in this same addition. And I realized that even the addition that was put on in the 80s is not level either, significantly not level. So that was really fun, putting in a new floor joist to try to match the slope of the rest of everything. It was very complicated. I'm kind of glad that the only thing that got broken was one little elbow from a water line. But so anyways, so what I'm planning on doing in the laundry room here, this side here is the side over here is our stove that goes into the kitchen the rest of the way. So there is this like partial wall right here. It's only probably a foot out is what it sticks out. It's, you know, structural. So back behind me over in here is where there used to be a window that was broken when we bought the place. I've since covered it up and boarded it over. It's boarded over on the other side too. There's insulation in there. It's all sealed up, so there's no gaps or drafts or anything like that happening in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use trim boards, like that big wide one up there. I'm going to use them and create almost like a shiplap sort of appearance over in here. And then I'm not sure yet if I'm going to paint it the same gray that the wall is, or if I'm going to paint it white. But then I'm going to add in it'll be about this high here. So I didn't put trim boards there, where there was a chair rail. Up until yesterday, there was a chair rail there. What I'm going to do at this level here is actually put in another piece of countertop, because that is something that our kitchen is a galley style kitchen. And I would show you guys, but literally everything that we keep in the laundry room is now in the kitchen. So, I mean, it's kind of, you can't get to the fridge or do anything. But so our kitchen does not have very much counter space. It's been very frustrating the whole time that we've been here. Like, while it is a massive step up from the camper we were living in, this is the smallest kitchen I think we've ever had together as a couple, and we've been together for like 12 years. So, I mean, it's very difficult to work in this kitchen. So I'm going to add in a whole nother countertop here. So that's going to be roughly 8 foot of more counter space. And then, like I said, I'm going to put the shiplapping up on the walls here. And then I'm going to do open shelves on top of that. So then that way we can store like dried goods and different decorative things and knickknack sort of things up on top of there. And then I might, not sure yet, I might try to make like a custom cast iron rack thing in the center, almost as like a focal piece here. But I'm not really sure. So sorry about that. The dogs came unglued and I had to go make sure nobody was here. I really hate when people just show up. It's a huge pet peeve of mine, especially in the modern age. Just shoot a text. But false alarm must have been a squirrel. So anyways, so I'm probably going to do some sort of fancy pants thing for cast iron to be on display, but I'm not sure. It'll kind of just depend on how things look as I go up. I'm hoping that in the next week or so we can make a trip to Menards to get all of the trim boards that I need. This project, when I costed it out to do just the shiplap, I think it was like $70 is what it was going to cost, because I'm just buying the same sort of trim boards that they're actually like 1x6s. They're pine boards. So some of them are slightly uneven, so I'll have to, trim them down to make them so that way they're all symmetrical and even. But then just sand them down and paint them. That's how I've done all of the trim throughout the rest of the house that I've replaced, is just by doing the wide pine boards, so that way I could make it so it matched the original stuff of the house. So, I'm out of breath. But so in saying that, not the out of breath part, but the other things that I'm doing, I also got these trim boards here put into place. They're all added in. I've got to work on getting them painted today. That's what I've been working on all day today after doing chores. And it's kind of nice because I'm not having to worry about being super duper careful while painting because of the fact that I am going to add a piece of quarter round trim down here, just because of the fact that house is uneven. It's really noticeable in the living room. There's places where the floor doesn't come quite up all the way to the trim board, so that's the only solution I could come up with, because there's no other way to really make it look level when it's not. I mean, this house has over 100 years of just hanging out, I suppose you could call it. But, you know, it is what it is. Everything is structurally sound. Everything is strong underneath. Everything that was sagging has been braced up and stuff. So everything is secure. There's nothing structurally wrong with the house. It's just, it's an old house and it leans. That's it. It's not like anything major or anything of the sort like that. But so, yeah, that's what I've been doing now. And then also, as you guys seen behind me, I did the trim boards for around that door there. And then I do have to, probably tomorrow while Tracy's home, I'm going to have her help me move the washer and dryer so that way I can put the trim boards back behind there. I just, after moving so many things around yesterday, kind of got a little tired of moving things. So anyways, that's it for today. I've got a ton more painting to do actually, because I've got more painting to do in here, more painting to do in the living room, more to do in the dining room, and just everywhere. The next probably month or so, I'm probably just going to be consistently trim painting with white paint pretty much everywhere. So it's gonna be a lot of painting, which is fine. But so let me know in the comment section below what you guys' opinion is on doing this wall here. If you guys think that it'd look better if we paint the shiplap white or leave it gray. The rest of the kitchen is the same color scheme of this gray on the walls, and then the cupboards is this blue-green sort of color. It looks totally different in real life than it does in camera, so if you guys aren't sure about this blue-greeny color, just ignore it because, well, it looks nothing alike. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.